Good evening. I'd like to call this April 24th, 2018 meeting of the Bernalillo County Commissioners to order. Commissioner Hart Stebbins and Commissioner O'Malley will be excused for this evening. We will start with a silent invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. I could do the Pledge of Allegiance. I know. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam County Manager, are there any changes or additions to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, there are no changes.
Great. We will move on to proclamations. The first proclamation this evening will be presented by me. This goes out to the Atrisco Heritage Academy boys basketball team. All right. So if you'd all come down and stand in front of the podium. Welcome. Thanks for coming, guys. I'm going to read this acknowledgement. Atrisco Heritage Academy boys basketball team. Acknowledging the team as the 2018 New Mexico Activities Association 6A boys basketball state champs, and acknowledging the Jaguars swept through the tournament by defeating Santa Fe High School, Valley High School, and Las Cruces High School en route to the final game against Cleveland, and acknowledging on Saturday, March 10th, at Dream Style Arena at this year's State Boys Basketball Championship game, number 3 seed Atrisco Heritage Academy defeated number 5 seed Cleveland High School by a score of 53-49, and acknowledging this is Atrisco Heritage Academy's first state basketball championship since starting varsity basketball in 2008, and that this was also the first championship trophy for the school in any sport. Now therefore be resolved that Bernalillo County Board of Commissioners congratulates and honors the entire team and coaching staff, Coach Corbin. Let's see, and I might mess up some names here, all right, fellas? That's all right, they've messed up my name all my life. Joaquin, right? I got that one right. Diego Ortega, Coach Giles, good. Coach Daniel Leba, Jason Weisgerber. Wow, I'm getting lucky today. Carlos Salazar, Malachi Crawford, Josiah Ramos, Marcus Crawford, Dominic Rivas, DeMarcus Sufin. Close enough? I finally messed one up. How do you say it? Sufin. That was close. Man, I blew it. Angel Ramirez, Elijah Gaxiola. Oh, that's 2. Jordan Arroyo, Zachariah that one, man. Carmignani? Carmignani. Enrique Vivian, okay. Jennifer Hernandez, DJ Ornales, Coach Adrian Ortega, Coach Adrian Ortega Jr., and for this great accomplishment done this 24th day of April 2018 in Bernalillo County, the state of New Mexico, presented on this day, April 24th, 2018, by the Board of Commissioners, Stephen Michael Quesada, Chair, Lonnie C. Talbert, Vice Chair, Debbie O'Malley, Member, Maggie Hart Stebbins, Member, and James E. Smith, Member. Congratulations to your team, to your coaches. What a great honor for a school on the west side. Yeah. And, you know, with hard work, good things happen, and you guys have proven that. And so you guys are leaders in your schools, you're a leader in the community, and we're very proud of your dedication, your hard work, and your commitment, because we know that's what it takes to be a winner. If you'd come up here and receive the, oh, would you like to say a couple of words, Coach? Yeah, sure, please do.
Well, board members, thank you for having us. These kids are truly competitive in their sport, but one thing that I want to share with you guys are highly, highly competitive in the classroom as well. And they understand that getting good grades is beyond competing in sports. And not only that, as you mentioned, their character is stellar as well. These are the best of the best. And I'm really honored to coach these fine young men. Really proud of you guys. Thank you guys for asking.
Thank you. Come on up, guys. Okay, now we will move on to acknowledgement of Public Works, presentation and acknowledgement.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, it's my pleasure to acknowledge our Public Works Division at this time. So a couple of weeks ago, I attended an awards banquet, and I felt that it was really important for everybody to realize what valuable staff we have and what they do, so I'd like to acknowledge them today. So the Bernalillo County Public Works Division received 2 Engineering Excellence Awards from the American Council of Engineering Companies of New Mexico. These awards were presented annually to recognize engineering achievement and to demonstrate the highest degree of merit and ingenuity. The awards pay tribute to New Mexico's most prestigious and distinguished engineering projects. Bernalillo County received recognition and was awarded for 2 projects. So the first one was the Vista del Rio Phase 4 project. It was honored in 2 categories for water resources and for the People's Choice, which was chosen by the attendees at the presentation reception. I did vote for that. So Rodrigo Eichwald was the project engineer, Rodrigo. So thank you, Rodrigo. And I got to sit at his table, and that was the fun table, right? So Phase 4 was the final phase of the entire Vista del Rio project. When the project was completed, approximately 105 homes will be removed from the FEMA floodplain, and affected residents who live there will no longer be required to pay for flood insurance. That's a big deal. The second project honored was Rio Grande Boulevard Bikeways project for the category Small Project of the Year. The Rio Grande Boulevard Bikeways is located along Rio Grande Boulevard between Los Santos Road and Alameda Road, adjacent to the Bequequi open space. This project widened the roadway and constructed on-street buffered bike lanes on both sides of the roadway. This improvement completed the connectivity of the bike lanes from Alameda Boulevard to the village of Los Ranchos de Albuquerque on the Rio Grande. This allows for greater access for the bicycling community and improves safety for the motorists and bicyclists by providing more buffer for both. In addition to this work, Rio Grande was reconstructed to improve the existing county infrastructure. So Howard Cake, I keep turning the wrong way, so Howard Cake was a project engineer, so very good job, Howard. So the selection criteria for these awards include original or innovative application of new or existing techniques, future value to the engineering profession and perception by the public, social, economic, and sustainable design consideration, complexity, and last, exceeding client and owner needs. So at this time, I do want to acknowledge the Deputy County Manager for the division, Roger Paul. Thank you for your leadership, Roger. And I also want to acknowledge Elias Archuleta, the Director for Technical Services. Elias. So congratulations, you all, and on a job well done, and thank you. Thank you all for everything that you do every day for the community.
Okay. So now we will go to certificates and awards.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, we're not going to certificates and awards. I know, I think we'll be seen in this picture. Great job. Thank you. Congratulations, everybody, again. Now we will go to certificates and awards, Human Resources.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, it's always my pleasure to acknowledge these employees. And can you all, who's here? Are any of the employees here? Sulema's here? I know she was here. So first of all, we wanted to acknowledge Sulema Lentz. Sulema Sue uses her experience from her banking industry to further enhance the economic development department's business management counseling meetings by providing assistance on management principles, business finance, and marketing. Sulema came to the county after 20 years in the banking industry. She's been with Economic Development for 13 months as an Administrative Officer 3, and I can tell you that she does a whole lot more than that, so, and I really appreciate what you do. She provides support to the entire department by performing a wide variety of duties from general administrative support to sharing her banking knowledge at various business summits. Outside of work, Sulema is a handy woman and enjoys fixing the things around the house and working in the yard. Can you come to my house? Last year's summer project was painting the exterior of her home. Wow, that's pretty ambitious. So congratulations. Okay. Did you want to say anything? No. Or? Okay, I always like to give people a, are you sure? Okay. All right. The next one for community services is Pat Nicasio, is that correct? Not here? Okay. So Pat retired from Sandia National Laboratories after 23 years. She came to the county as a temporary employee to support the 2012 election. After the election, she was hired by the clerk's office as an Administrative Officer 3. Pat has many responsibilities from procurement of goods and services to assisting with media requests. She has a vast knowledge of what it takes to prepare for an election. She looks forward to a second and final retirement so she can devote more time to her family. Outside of work, Pat enjoys traveling, golfing, and fishing with her favorite fishing partner, her father. So congratulations to her. Monica Roybal. So Monica's out of town. So Monica's work ethic, devotion, and demeanor combine to create a considerate and successful team player and leader. So prior to the county, I remember Monica. Monica used to work for the local government division of DFA. So Ken remembers Monica as well, too. She was a project manager there. And we always could count on Monica when we needed to get things done and we needed some information regarding any projects that we had. She joined the county 8 years ago and worked for MDC Legal and currently with the finance division as a financial accountant senior. And Ken is still mad because they stole her away. He's mad at Shirley, I think. She works on various technical projects assigned by the DCM. Outside of work, Monica enjoys running, cycling, walking her dog, Duke. She enjoys simple things like talking, laughing, and sharing a meal with her family. She recently married her best friend, Dan, who actually works for our sheriff's department. They are currently on a beach enjoying their honeymoon, so she couldn't be here tonight. So, yeah, that's a pretty good reason. I don't blame her. So, Gary Surratt. So Gary is dedicated to emergency management in general and is always looking for ways to improve the overall interoperability among agencies within the metro area as well as throughout the state. And we know that. He's been working on the land mobile radio project since before I got there over 2.5 years ago, and we're determined we're going to see that project to fruition, and I know we will with Gary's leadership on that. Gary has spent 35 years in the Federal Fire Department in Ventura, California, where he retired as a fire chief. I didn't know that. He and his wife, Jerry, and Jerry, you're here. Hi, Jerry. Relocated to Albuquerque after deciding this is where they wanted to retire, and we're so glad that you did. He joined Bernalillo County's Office of Emergency Management in 2005 as Emergency Management Specialist and is currently the Deputy Emergency Manager. Besides his normal emergency management duties, he assists the county and surrounding jurisdictions in managing the radio communication needs. Gary is an amateur radio enthusiast and has a budding interest in drone photography. Very good, so congratulations. Old Dwight. I saw Dwight taking his picture a little bit earlier, and I guess he left. Is that why you took his picture earlier? Okay, Dwight. So Dwight runs the program professionally and independently and is thoughtful about processes and outcomes and is very supportive of professional growth in his staff. So Dwight retired from the Air Force after 22 years of service. He joined the county's risk management department in 1998. He's currently our fleet administrator, and so I know that he was very busy ordering our latest fleet order. So, and he's been doing a great job with that, and we appreciate that. He's been married 41 years to Faye, has 2 children and 5 grandchildren. Outside of work, Dwight enjoys fishing, golfing, motorcycle riding, and kayak fishing. He's a member of the Buffalo Soldiers Motorcycle Club. He also volunteers at numerous youth-related programs. So, congratulations, Dwight. Marissa Torres. So, Marissa's job performance has far exceeded expectations. She also provides a cheerful attitude for her coworkers. Marissa has been with Bernalillo County for nearly 6.5 years. She is currently in the Procurement and Business Services Department as a Senior Procurement Processing Technician. Originally from the San Fernando Valley in California, she has lived in Albuquerque most of her life. She is married to Robert Torres and has 2 sons, Corbin and Cooper. Outside of work, she loves camping with her family. She also enjoys crafting with her sister-in-laws, and she's busy running around with the kids. So Corbin is in baseball now, which takes up a lot of time. So congratulations. Maddie Cooper from MDC. So Officer Cooper's attentiveness led to the successful recapture of an inmate who had from CCP. So Officer Cooper is a corrections officer at the MDC. So while she was on duty working at UNMH in the emergency room, she saw a patient enter with an injured leg. She recognized the patient to be an inmate from MDC who had fled from CCP. Officer Cooper quickly notified the shift commander and along with fellow officers monitored the inmate's location until the arrival of CCP officers. CCP officers captured and returned the inmate into custody. Officer Cooper moved from Kansas 5 years ago seeking mountains and sunshine, and so you're getting a lot of that. But Albuquerque has given her much more than that. She found a career that she loves, her wife, Kayla, a passion for hiking and mountain biking, a pound dog, Panda, that is a perfect companion for her, for her Kansas-born pup, Bertha. So very good. So you got the dog here? Awesome. Okay. A great life here in Bernalillo County, and she is thrilled to call this her home. So thank you for calling this your home. Yes. So thank you to all of you for all you do, and if you can go up to the podium to be acknowledged. I'm sorry, to the dais with the commissioners.
I do it all the time, don't you?
Yeah. Thank you. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations. All right, now we will go on to public comment. Right, but do we have some? Yes, we do.
We have one signed up this evening.
Okay, so I think he knows the rules.
Correct.
So let's,
Mr. Don Schrader.
Don Schrader, we all can be a hero to some and sadly a villain to others. Does Trump have anyone close to him who cares enough, has conscience and courage to confront him on his lies, racist insults, severe money addiction, evil actions? If anyone could have told Daniel Ortega 35 years ago, when he was a hero to millions of poor in Central America, that now as president of Nicaragua, he would injure and kill demonstrators, how could he have believed it? Many white slave owners dearly loved their children, but they bought, sold, and horribly abused black people as slaves. Many Nazis warmly hugged their children, but on the job they mass murdered Jews. Many Sandia Lab scientists are considerate to their next door neighbors, but on the job they design weapons of mass murder targeting our neighbors abroad. Barbara and H.W. Bush apparently had an exceptionally loving 73-year marriage. When H.W. Bush was CIA director and later U.S. president, he murdered many people in covert actions in the Gulf War. Did Barbara have any conscience about his murders? Did she ever confront him? We all need to hold each other accountable. Always confront me when I wrong others.
thank you. We will go on to 7A, Finance, University of New Mexico Hospital Report, third quarter, FY18.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the Commission. My name is Mike Ciccarelli. I have the pleasure of serving as the interim CEO at University Hospital. I just want to make a few general announcements today. I have included our performance packet in your notes. You should have that there, and I'm happy to take any questions. We have Dr. Mauricio Tohen here to discuss behavioral health operations. At the last meeting that we presented, it was requested that we bring Dr. Tohen to discuss the changes in behavioral health, and I would like to just briefly touch on a few things, and then I'll bring up Dr. Tohen if that's okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it needs to be closer. Okay. Is that better? Great. So hospital management continues to work with county leadership on two agreements that were generated by the MOU. The first is a case and the navigational services agreement. The hospital expects to have a draft available that will be shared with county leadership by the end of this week. UNMH and county leadership will be meeting in May to discuss the process for beginning implementation and monitoring of the mill levy MOU. And of course, we'll keep everyone updated as we progress through that. With that said, I'd like to go ahead and bring up Dr. Tohen to discuss some of the changes in behavioral health. Dr. Tohen.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I am Mauricio Toa, and I'm the Service Chief for Behavioral Care at UNMH, and I'm going to have a presentation. Well, starting with our mission. Our mission is, of course, New Mexico, and we have 4 missions. Number 1, patients are first. That's clinical services. And we can't serve everybody, but we will focus on those who others do not want to treat, perhaps because they're uninsured or because they're very complicated to treat. So we focus on the most vulnerable. We also focus on teaching, and our goal is to train those who are going to be treating the mentally ill in New Mexico. We focus on research that primarily is going to help New Mexico. And our 4th mission is community engagement. Everything we do is with the community in mind. We collaborate very closely with Bernalillo County. We identified community needs together, and at times we actually even fund services provided by the county, specifically MATS. In addition to that, as I mentioned, we listen to the community. If it's not what we think the community needs, is what the community tells us they need in terms of behavioral care. We have to work with Bernalillo and the state in issues that we cannot solve on our own, specifically making sure that we have a sustainable system of care. Specifically, we cannot provide intermediate level of care or crisis center if it's not going to be sustainable, meaning if Medicaid is not going to cover for that, it's not going to be sustainable. Now let me focus on recent advances in terms of our system. We are reorganizing our outpatient clinics. As I've mentioned, we can't treat everybody. We actually see ourselves as a system of care. We will provide consultation to primary care providers, and in addition to that, we will focus on the most vulnerable population. An example would be patients with severe mental illness who have very specific needs. We have this clinic called COPE, which is the clinic for the patients with severe mental illness. These patients frequently need injectable medication, and in addition to that, many of these patients never see an MD. The only time they see an MD is when they see the psychiatrist. So what we've done is we bring primary care to the clinic, which is called a medical home. We do have services. We provide services not covered by Medicaid, such as care coordination and peer support, and this is something that we're very much focusing on. And we're going to be starting on July 1st a behavioral health home, which is going to be services that are provided to patients that are not reimbursed by Medicaid, specifically care coordination and peer support. This is really the way of the future because it's not payment by procedure. It is payment by wellness. So the goal here is to keep patients out of the hospital, to keep patients functioning in the community. So it is the way of the future. Other services that we have initiated is we work closely with the main hospital. Many times there's not enough beds in the main hospital. Many times patients spend longer time in the hospital because they have behavioral needs. So if they still need medical needs, we have formed a partnership with a skilled nursing facility, Genesis, where patients move on and then they continue to receive primary behavioral care services. Our addiction services, we started with providing addiction services to adults. Now we have expanded to adolescents. And in addition to that, many adolescents with substance abuse disorder also suffer from mental health conditions. So we have started a program for detoxification in the inpatient unit. We work very closely with law enforcement. We see APD really as part of the treatment team. Many times, individuals with mental illness first come into contact with law enforcement rather than with providers. We want to make sure that those patients who need mental health services come to us rather than being detained. Along the same lines, we just hired a forensic psychiatrist, going to be starting in August, and this faculty member is going to help us with a triage service for recently released detainees to make sure that they get the appropriate services. Psychiatric emergency services, it is small. It was originally designed just for adults. We do see children there. Renovations will start in July. We will expand our services. We will completely separate children from adults, and we will have an observation unit. Many times we have patients who are intoxicated with methamphetamine, and they will recover within 24, 48 hours. They don't need to be hospitalized. If we keep them in the observation area, then they can be discharged back to the community. Assaults are frequent in our service. It's not unusual for patients with mental illness to be severely agitated. We need to protect other patients. We need to protect staff. So we are going to be in the renovations. That includes in the inpatient units. We're going to have an intensive care bed, which is for patients who are severely agitated. We are expanding our hours for urgent care. We're going to add a provider. Up until now, urgent care was provided until 3 o'clock. And then once urgent care closed, it would move to psychiatric urgent services. Psychiatric emergency services are provided 24/7 to psychiatrists on staff at all times, and this is a service that not only serves Bernalillo County, but it really serves the rest of the state. We are going to focus also in women's mental health. The majority of the population is, of course, women, and of course, women suffer some psychiatric conditions. We recently hired a physician who's going to be starting women's mental health services in the outpatient clinic. Many times, adolescents with mental illness, when they turn 18, the services are very different. It's just by a difference of a day, but many services that they were able to receive before they turn 18 are no longer provided for adults. So where we're going to be starting is a transition clinic where there will be a smooth transition from adolescents to adults. And of course, when you treat the children, family needs to be involved. We're going to be expanding those services. Many times at psychiatric emergency services, we see children, but in addition to the emergency need, they need to be followed. So we're going to be providing a service where they can be seen within days and start their ongoing treatment. Now, this is another proposal that we have in mind, and we need a partner, and we think the right partner is the county. We will write the proposal, submit it to SAMHSA, submitted, we hope, by the county, and this is preventive medicine. It is to identify individuals who are developing a first episode of psychosis. They have not developed it yet, but they're showing symptoms. And early intervention is key. The sooner you intervene, the better the outcome. And also, it has been seen in patients with first episode of psychosis. Frequently, their first contact is with law enforcement and rather than with mental health. So we think this is a very important initiative that we hope we will partner on with. Challenges. So the behavioral services in the state have deteriorated. So as services leave the state, we are left, we're a safety net. Patients no longer have it provided, so they come to the psychiatric emergency services. Our services there have skyrocketed. They have tripled, and not only in adult, but also in children, and it is not that within working hours. Patients require services through the night. Of course, the change in the justice system has one of the consequences is that many patients are released without the proper services. So again, as I mentioned, having the triage center is going to be key. We serve the rest of the state. We should not forget that. Other challenges, shortages. As I mentioned, we are focusing on training those who are going to be providing services in New Mexico. And this is not just psychiatrists and psychologists. It also includes nurses, social workers, and peer specialists. Intermediate level of cares have disappeared. They're needed. We only have intensive, inpatient, expensive, or outpatient. We don't have anything in between. But if there's not a way for reimbursement, it's not going to be sustainable. This is what we urgently need. Our facilities are deteriorating. They were built in the 70s, so we need to partner with the county to better serve our patients. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just a couple of comments. In your packet, you'll notice that behavioral health actually has above benchmark patient satisfaction. They have historically been well above the peer group that we compare ourselves to in other academic medical centers. I would also point out that the COPE clinic that Dr. Tohen mentioned earlier I was looking at some data, and that clinic has quadrupled the amount of patients that it's seen since 2016, fiscal year 2016, and that's in your packet as well. So just a couple of highlights there. I'm happy to stand for questions either on behavioral health or on the information in your packet.
Do you have any questions? No comments? Okay, well, thank you so much. I
Very much.
appreciate it. Move on to item B, the 2018 New Mexico Legislative Session Summary.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members. My name is Dan Weeks with Schultz & Weeks. We're your county lobbyist, and here to basically answer any questions that you have about the legislative session. I think you've been provided with a written report on both the substantive legislation as well as the capital outlay. Sometimes when nothing really happens, it's a good thing. And I think that this legislative session was indicative of that. We did get some fairly significant capital outlay money for the county. Unfortunately, we had 2 vetoes, which I have not been able to get an explanation of up to this point. One, Mr. Chairman, was in your district, the South Valley Pool, which we've gotten money for in the past, and I just don't understand why that project didn't get signed by the governor. We also had one on Alameda medians. I believe that is in your district, Mr. Talbot, and I don't know what happened with that as well. We've gotten money for that as well in the past, and we've done a very good job in getting the projects underway, and those medians are actually the ones that were previously funded are already done. So I don't quite get it, but sometimes that's just the way it happens. So, and with respect to capital outlay, I also want to say that the county staff has done an extraordinary job putting those proposals together during the course of the interim. Clay has just been absolutely incredibly competent and coordinating the efforts of the various departments and putting a comprehensive program together. And we have very, very good substantiation for all of the programs. So in terms of the substantive legislation, we were really concerned going in that we might get hit with some so-called GRT reforms that might have a negative impact on the county, removing the tax increments, the 3/1/8, and doing some damage to us with respect to the revenue flow to the counties. Fortunately, none of those reform efforts, so-called reform efforts, were significantly moving through the session. Everything got basically canned in some of the committees, and that was something we really didn't have to face. So all the projects you're funding with the 1/8, the 2/1/8s that are in place should be safe moving forward. One significant thing that passed was a piece of legislation that allowed for hospitals to basically stand up crisis triage centers. And the state has actually authorized up to $20 million in bonds to be issued for that purpose, and that would be used, I think, in conjunction with some of the revenues that are available from the 1/8 behavioral health. I believe that the county attorney's been working with the state as well as with the UNMH to move that project forward. So that would be a very good thing for the community. You just heard what a significant issue behavioral health is in the community, and I think this project will be very helpful in addressing some of those concerns. Finally, I'd like to congratulate Representative / new Commissioner Smith. We've worked together for a long time, and I look forward to working with you as a commissioner. With that, Mr. Chair, I'll stand for questions.
Questions and comments? No? I also believe that the visitor center also was vetoed.
Yes.
Yeah, that's in my district also.
I know what it is about your district, Mr. Chair.
Yes, that district has had its challenges, but we'll keep fighting. Appreciate the update, and appreciate the time.
Thank you, and I'd just like to congratulate the rest of the staff and thank Julie and Ken and the rest of the staff for being so supportive and answering our questions when we call them at odd hours of the night and day in Santa Fe. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So we'll go to approval of minutes, right? So the minutes of April 3rd, 2018 budget hearing meeting. Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying yes. Yes, opposed, no. Motion passes. Minutes for April 10th, 2018, the minutes so moved. Second, signify by saying yes. Yes, opposed, passes. We will go to the approval of the consent agenda. So I got a motion and a second for the consent agenda. All in favor, signify by saying yes. Yes. All opposed? Everything on the, so we need these numbers, though. So what we need is for the fiscal year 2018 motion, we'll go through FR to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it'll be also into fiscal year 2019.
We'll do 2018 first, Mr. Chairman.
Okay,
Resolution number 1,
One.
2018-29.
29,
Resolution number 2, FR 2018-30. Resolution number 3, 2018-31. Resolution number 4, 2018-32. Resolution number 5, 2018-33. Resolution number 6 is 2018-34, which brings you to item 8.
okay, we'll move to fiscal 2019.
Resolution number 7 is FR 2018-35. Number 8 is FR 2018-36.
Okay, so we will put, those will be read into the record, and so you want me to make sure that that's,
Just for clarification,
Okay.
motion number 7 is FR 2018-34, and motion 9 and 10 is 35 and 36?
correct.
Thank you.
All right. So we will now go to Arts Board
We-
appointment.
That was approved under the consent agenda, so we also need an ordinance number under 9F.
Okay,
Ordinance number 2018-12.
okay, there it is. Okay. 12, all right. Now we'll go to the Arts Board appointment. Correct?
Mr. Chairman, we are now on item 10. The Arts Board appointment was approved under consent.
Okay, good, all right. 10, there we go. Adoption of the ordinance to the county code. Economic development.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, the Economic Development staff recommends the approval of the notice of intent authorizing a local economic development agreement, LEDA, with Albuquerque Investors, LLC, and Topgolf USA, Albuquerque, LLC. I stand for any questions.
Got a motion? Second. All in favor signify by saying yes. Yes. Motion passes. Thank you so much, Economic
Thank you,
Development.
Commissioners.
Item 11, no, item 12, approvals. Commission nomination for filling the vacancy of the House of Representatives, District 22. Everybody's gotten, has received resumes from the candidates that we are going to nominate this evening. Do we have any speakers? Do we have 2 speakers? Okay, so I think what we'll do is we will allow them under the same rules of public comment, okay, which is 2 minutes, or which is 3 minutes, correct? 2 minutes, okay. At a minute and a half, they will give you a signal, and then you have 30 seconds to wrap it up, okay? Did they sign up, or?
They can just state their name for the record before
Okay.
they speak.
So if you, so we will, you guys can work out whoever wants to come first, and, okay, there we go, see? They're already compromising. There was already a compromise.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, County officials. I'm Merritt Hamilton Allen, and I have applied to be nominated as Bernalillo County's candidate for the appointment of the House District 22 seat vacated by now Commissioner Jim Smith. I chose to run for this office at Commissioner Smith's request. He had decided to not seek a 5th term. I will very briefly discuss what I think is important from a legislative candidate in House District 22 and the Bernalillo County Commission to deal with together. Primarily, I'm going to change my phrase. I was going to say GRT reform, and maybe reform isn't the right word, but I think we have to address GRT. Our hold harmless funds are expiring. We have too many loopholes, and I support closing loopholes to broaden the tax base and get an overall lower rate and a more equitable tax. I also am focused on broadband and wireless in our rural areas. This is a lifeline for emergency notification. It's an educational lifeline for our children, and it's particularly important for our business owners in rural areas to be able to compete. And finally, my last point would be on crime. I am not particularly interested in new crime bills, but I am interested in making sure we can recruit and retain the best in law enforcement, that we fund and staff all prosecutors and public defenders' offices so that they can process laws. And beyond that, I grew up in Silver City. I'm a veteran, a business owner, and I thank you for your time. I got 15 seconds.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners, and thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Jessica Velasquez, and I too seek your recommendation to Governor Martinez to fill Mr. Smith's vacant seat in House District 22. I am deeply committed to serving the people of District 22 for the duration of the term. I'm ready and able to represent Bernalillo County constituents in our area. My professional and academic backgrounds give me the versatility and diversity of experience required of a legislator, and I believe I can provide the continuity of leadership for the next, for the work begun by our Representative Smith. Mr. Smith is very well regarded in our district, and his legacy of bipartisan solutions and leadership is to be commended. My neighbor told me recently, boy, Mr. Smith sure leaves big shoes to fill in the roundhouse. And I said, well, it's a good thing I have big feet myself. He's serving on many, many committees, most notably for me, the Legislative Education Study Committee and the Public School Capital Outlay Oversight Task Force. I served proudly as a public school teacher with APS and as adjunct faculty at the University of New Mexico, where I was honored to train beginning teachers. My work in education allows me to pick up where Mr. Smith left off and offer the people of our district continuity of leadership. Over the course of the campaign, I've spent countless hours on the ground with the people in our district, and I believe I can say with confidence that I understand what's on the hearts and minds of our constituents, and I understand what matters most to them. I will be able to step into the role easily and bring a diversity of experience and professionalism to the role. I'm also a small business owner working specifically in high-tech sectors in Albuquerque, which gives me an insider's perspective on economic issues in the state. So thank you for your consideration, and I stand for questions if you have any.
Thank you. We're good.
Thank you,
Thank you
gentlemen.
so much. Thank you both for showing up. Thank you for stepping up. It's a big thing. Commissioner Smith.
Mr. Chair, just a point of personal privilege. I just wanted to say that it's kind of a bittersweet moment here to see my successors show up to the commission so that we can nominate somebody. But I knew this day was coming. And I just want to say how proud I am and how excited I am that we have two very strong women who are willing to step up and serve in the House of Representatives. For those of you that don't know, I succeeded a female. Kathy McCoy was my predecessor in the House, and I served for 4 terms, and so I'm just very excited to see such strong, upstanding women step up to do this. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Great. Thank you. So I think we'll just go into a nominating thing. I would like to nominate Jessica P. Velasquez. Do I have a second? Okay. No second. That nomination fails. Do I have any other nominations?
Mr. Chair, I would like to nominate Merritt Allen.
We have a nomination from Merritt Allen. All in favor signify by saying yes.
Yes.
Mine's a no. It passes. And that will be the nomination from this county commission. Thank you so much for showing up. Good luck. Okay, so we will now move on to our next commission meeting will be, well, let's see here. It's a zoning meeting. Tuesday, May 8th, 2018, zoning meeting at 3 p.m. here at the Vincent E. Griego Chambers. And then Tuesday, May 8th, Board of Finance at 4:30 here at the Vincent E. Griego Chambers. And Tuesday, May 8th, administrative meeting at 5 p.m. here at the Vincent E. Griego Chambers. This meeting is now adjourned.